Good evening, everyone. Today is Tuesday, May 7th at 6 p.m. I call the regular City Council meeting to order and ask if you would please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please, ma'am.
J. David Reed.
Present.
Dave Frank.
Present.
Judy Ann Files.
Present.
Doug Glassbell.
Present.
Ed Ulibarri.
Here.
Maggie Kusar.
Here.
Hunter Barton.
Present.
Jordan Simo.
Here.
All city council members and our youth council representatives are present.
And let me just take a moment and welcome our 3 student council members. Pleasure to have each of you here, and thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, are there any changes to the agenda?
No, sir, there are not.
Okay. Then I have the pleasure of reading a couple of proclamations. The first one, can you hear me? The first one, I'd like to represent Municipal Clerks Week and ask if you, Lisa, and your staff would join me down here. You did get them to come out.
I got them all here.
That's great. Thank you both for coming. This is a proclamation regarding Municipal Clerks Week, May 5th through May 11th, 2024. Whereas the role of the municipal clerk is a time-honored and vital part of local government throughout the world, and whereas the profession of municipal clerk is the oldest among public servants, and whereas municipal clerks provide a professional link between the citizens, local government, and government agencies at other levels, and whereas municipal clerks and municipal court clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all, and whereas Colorado municipal clerks and municipal court clerks continually strive to improve by participating in educational opportunities and programs offered by regional, state, and international professional organizations. Now, therefore, we, the City Council of the City of Montrose, Colorado, do hereby proclaim the week of May 5th through May 11th, 2024 as Municipal Clerks Week in the City of Montrose, hereby extend appreciation to the municipal clerks and municipal court clerks for the services they perform and their dedication to the communities they represent. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused to be affixed the official seal of the City of Montrose this 7th day of May, 2024. Congratulations. I'd like to say it on a personal note and on behalf of the City Council, just to recognize what our city clerk department, under your leadership, Lisa, and all of you who serve your community, we really appreciate what you do. We couldn't do it without you. And I know you play heck sometimes trying to keep up with city council, and that's probably the toughest job of all, but we do appreciate it, and thank you very much. Oh.
All of us with the proclamation.
I wasn't sure when I was supposed to be taking this picture, so. I think I got you. Let me do one more. Okay.
Now the next proclamation that I have the honor of reading is the proclamation regarding Mental Health Month, May 2024, and I think we have a representative, Ms. Hurst, I believe, correct? Please come up. Thank you. Oh, good, great. Whereas mental health is essential to everyone's overall health and well-being, and whereas according to Colorado Health Institute, Colorado has the nation's 6th highest suicide rate, and whereas all individuals face challenges in life that can impact their mental health, therefore it is our duty as a community to help reduce stigma in seeking professional help for mental health support. And whereas prevention is an effective way to reduce the burden of mental health conditions, and whereas there are practical tools that all people can use to improve their mental health and increase resiliency, and whereas mental health conditions are real and prevalent in our nation, and whereas with effective treatment, those individuals with mental health conditions can recover and lead full, productive lives, and whereas each business, school, government agency, healthcare provider, organization, and citizen share the burden of mental health problems and has a responsibility to promote wellness and support prevention and treatment efforts. And whereas organizations like Tri-County Health Network fight all year, not just in May, to bring mental health awareness to the forefront and offer programs and services to the community to address mental health needs. Now, therefore, we, the City Council of the City of Montrose, Colorado, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2024 Mental Health Month in the City of Montrose, and we call upon the citizens, government agencies, public and private institutions to increase awareness and understanding of mental health, the steps our citizens can take to protect their mental health, reducing stigma around seeking help, and the need for appropriate and accessible services for all people with mental health conditions. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused to be affixed the official seal of the City of Montrose, Colorado, this 7th day of May, 2024. Congratulations.
Thank you. My name's Jamie. I'm the Suicide Prevention Coordinator at Tri-County Health Network. So thank you all. I saw you last September for Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. See you this September too. But thank you all very much for this proclamation and for supporting mental health in the community. As the Suicide Prevention Coordinator, thank you. And as Jamie, Montrose resident, thank you very much. I myself have a mental health condition. I'm in recovery. The support, the ease of stigma that comes from something like this is life-changing. And if you don't already know that, please know that it is. And thank you all for being here.
Thank you. It's always a lot of fun recognizing our citizens and the efforts that people make in our community to continue to make it a better community. And thanks again to our city and court clerks and to Tri-County Health for the things you do in our community. The next item of business is the call for public comment for non-agenda items. Is there anyone here tonight that wishes to speak to the council on a non-agenda item? If it's an item that's on an agenda, we ask that you wait until that item comes up, and you'll certainly have time at that point in time. But is your item a non-agenda item? It is a non-agenda item? Then I have to read the following before we get started. The call for public comment agenda item is a time when concerned members of the community may publicly voice their concerns and discuss items of interest. Please note that no formal action will be taken on the matters raised during this time. Comments made during this time should be addressed to the council and pertain to matters of at least general importance to the city and its operations. Please be aware that neither City Council nor city staff are expected to respond or engage in discussion or debate. Please refrain from any personal attacks and disagreements, personnel and employment matters, the use of profanity or ethnic, racial, or gender-oriented slurs as they may be considered disorderly. Now we're really down.
When the lights go out, I leave, guys.
There we are. I think.
Does that sound? Yeah, there we go.
Sorry for the interruption. Go ahead, please.
All good. Hello, everyone. My name is Marissa Borchardt. I am a dentist at River Valley Family Health Center. I also reside on South Stowe Ave in the downtown area. I'm here today to talk about a decision that was made 10 years ago in Montrose, a decision that has drastically affected the oral health of this community. I'm sure many of us in this room have had a cavity before. Typically, when that happens, we're able to get to a dentist and we're looking at doing a filling. Maybe at worst, we're looking at doing a root canal, and I hope we're not looking at having to take out the tooth. However, there's many hardworking people in our community who don't have that luxury. Access to care can be a true challenge in the dental field due to socioeconomic status. This could be because someone's struggling financially or they're having trouble taking the time off from work. But as a town, we can choose to help those in this community, and the way to do that is by reintroducing a water fluoridation program. By adjusting our community water to contain 0.7 parts per million of fluoride, we have the power to reduce tooth decay as high as 25%. As City Council, you have the power to either work directly with our water systems or to work with Project 7 to try to help improve the dental health of this town. Since 2014, studies have continued to come out to show that water fluoridation programs decrease the number of cavities. By doing so, not only are we helping the oral health, but we're also having positive implications on people's medical health as well as their behavioral health as well. Less days of school are missed as well as work, and the community can thrive even more than we do. Since 2014, these studies continue to show that water fluoridation is a cost-effective program and that it helps all of our population, regardless of your age, your income, or your access to dental care. And I can attest from my experience working in this community, especially with a very diverse patient population, that I see higher rates of decay in the Montrose area compared to areas where I've worked where they do have water fluoridation programs. Not only that, but the decay is progressing at an incredibly fast rate, where we're having to extract more teeth than I ever would like to do. In conclusion, water fluoridation is not just a dental health, it's a fundamental public health intervention, and that can improve the quality of life of everyone in our community. As a dentist, I urge City Council to prioritize the health and well-being of its residents by looking into and working with Project 7 to implement a water fluoridation program. Let's give Montrose the healthy smile and then a brighter cavity-free future as well. Thank you.
Any other public comment for non-agenda items? Seeing none, we will move on to the next item, 8, which is the consent agenda. The consent agenda is where all items on the consent agenda are considered to be of a routine nature. The 2 items on tonight's consent agenda are City Council in consideration of the minutes of the April 16th, 2024 regular City Council meeting, and the second one is City Council consideration of rescheduling of the June 18th, 2024 regular City Council meeting to Monday, June 17th, 2024 at 6 p.m. in the City Council chambers. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second that.
There's been a motion and a second. Please vote. Item number 9 on the agenda is a new hotel and liquor license application. City Council consideration of an application for a new hotel and liquor license at 1541 Oxbow Drive, 1000A for Urban Hip E LLC, doing business as Urban Hip E for consumption on the licensed premises. And for presentation, I'll turn this over to City Attorney Chris Dowsey.
Thank you, Mayor Reed, members of council. Before City Council is an application for a new hotel and restaurant liquor license for Urban Hippie LLC, doing business as Urban Hippie, located at 1541 Oxbow Drive, 1000A. This is a public hearing for a new hotel and restaurant liquor license. The permit is in order and the fees have been paid. From city staff's review of the application, we have seen nothing that would prevent council from issuing this license, notwithstanding this hearing. Council may make a decision at the end of this hearing or defer for up to 30 days. At this time, I'll ask the applicants to step forward, introduce themselves, and announce their home address.
Hi, can you hear me?
We sure can.
Hi, I'm Stanya Garias. This is my husband, James.
Hi.
And yes, we are launching Urban Hippie Fresh Kitchen. It's actually what it's going to be called, but nonetheless, the LLC is Urban Hippie. So our business is something really different than Montrose has seen to date. We think a lot of really fresh food, really high focus on greens and vegetables, and just the ease of trying to make it easy for families or working people to be able to come and pick up something that's healthier for them after work or on a lunch break or those kinds of things. Salads and pita sandwiches, poke bowls and acai bowls, juices, smoothies, and then flatbreads and also pastas. Really a Mediterranean type of a feel. And especially when it comes to families, because we have 4 children ourselves, being able to come and be able to pick up something on your way home from work and for your whole entire family, a nice big pasta, family style version and a salad, let's say, and be able to go home and give that to your family. Like, that's what we're looking to plug into the Montrose community. We reside in Telluride. We have 2 restaurants there. We have a liquor license for one of our businesses, Steamy's Burger Bar. We've never had any kind of incident with our current liquor license, which we're very proud of. And we're just excited to come because Montrose is a community that we love. My parents live here in Cobble Creek. We come all the time, get our shop on, go to Target, get our Ross, we do our things, and we're down in Montrose all the time, so it just feels like it makes sense. And we feel very savvy in the sense that we can identify what a community needs, and it feels like Montrose needs this kind of food establishment. There are lots of great diversity in the Montrose culinary spectrum, but nonetheless, it feels like Montrose is primed and ready for something like this, and so we're very excited about it. So thank you so much. I don't know if you have something that you want to say.
No, I think you said everything.
Okay. I have the way of doing that, sorry.
Mayor Reed, do you and the councilors wish to examine the petitioner at this point, or do you wish I asked some of the preliminary questions?
I think it'd be appropriate for you to do so.
Perfect. So you've told us all about Urban Hippie. State law does require the needs and desires of the neighborhood be considered during this process. We have determined that the neighborhood is the city of Montrose. Do you understand this?
Yes.
Okay. Do you agree with the city being the neighborhood?
Yes.
Do you believe the needs and desires of the neighborhood are being met, or would this license help meet the needs and desires of the neighborhood?
I don't know if I understand the question.
Sure,
I'm sorry. That was like a or?
Do you believe that us issuing this license, the city council issuing this license, would that help meet the needs and desires of the neighborhood?
Oh, yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
So there are petitions for this liquor license. They were professionally done and done quite well. It seems we may have someone on Zoom from the petitioning group. There were 122 signatures, and 100% of the signatures were in favor of issuing the license.
Good.
Moving on from the petitions, are you familiar with the liquor laws of the state of Colorado?
We are.
Yes.
How do you intend on stopping underage drinking from happening at Urban Hippie?
So, I feel like I'm just talking.
I know.
Should
I
you
mean,
be talking? Go ahead.
So-
Why don't you just talk for a sec?
Well, first of all, we've taken the tips,
The tips
class.
course, yes, of course.
And we're going to have our employees, especially our managers and assistant managers, have that training. And if somebody doesn't have it, they'll teach them if they don't have that training. But we have a POS system, and it's point of sale. So every time somebody comes up and orders something, we have a kind of that you can't pass through our POS system without checking the ID. It's kind of a sale face, it's kind of a safety measure that we've put in place. Plus, next to the cash register, we have kind of, the age, what they're looking for as well. So we assist with that as well. So, we haven't had a problem for, 9 years where we have our liquor license up in Telluride. So we don't feel we're gonna have a problem down here if we, do the proper training.
Perfect. So you are familiar with the available liquor law education and server training classes for your employees?
We are.
Yes.
Perfect. Do you understand that it is, that the city intends to have all businesses with a liquor license have their owners and employees take all of these classes?
Yes.
Yep.
And would you be willing to commit to the council that if the license is issued to you, as the licensee, that all managers, servers will attend the next available training after the issuance if they're not already certified?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. Mayor Reed, council, do you have any other questions?
Think not.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
At this point, in order for us to consider, you can go ahead and sit down. At this point, we're going to conduct a public hearing anytime the council, as a local licensing authority, considers the issuance of a alcoholic beverage license. We are required by law to hold a public hearing. So at this point, I'll open the public hearing and ask if there is any public comment on this matter. Hearing none, I'll close the hearing. Council, any further discussion? Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the new hotel and restaurant liquor license at 1541 Oxbow Drive, 1000A, for Urban Hippie LLC, doing business as Urban Hippie for consumption on the licensed premises.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Okay, and that motion passes unanimously. Congratulations.
Thank you. Come eat.
And good luck.
Looking forward to it.
The next item, item number 10, is the Blowers Addition annexation. I'm going to turn this over to Staff Planner 2, William Reese. Hearing will be held on the annexation of the Blowers Addition.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, and members of the public. I do have a brief presentation to share, if that can be, I can take over the screen here. But most City Council members have heard about this item quite a few times already. since tonight is the official hearing date as declared by Resolution 2024-04 on March 19th, I will go through this presentation another time. Allow me to just connect here real quick. Test. There we go. The Nintendo trick works. Sorry about that. So we did bring this item to the Planning Commission on April 10th for their recommendation of a zoning designation, and we do plan to bring this item to a second reading on May 21st. The Blowers addition is a proposed annexation of approximately 12.94 acres. It is within the city's urban growth boundary in both the city sewer and water service area. More than 1/6 of the total perimeter of the annexation does touch existing city limits as required by state annexation policy. The zoning of the surrounding areas include RL Rural Living District, R6 Medium Density / Manufactured Housing District, and I1 Light Industrial District, which is the airport property, as well as properties outside of city limits. With any annexation, the applicant must request a zoning designation, and in this case, they've requested RL Rural Living District. This district is intended to provide for farms, ranches, and clustered development with open space and is designed to dovetail with allowed county residential densities. RL is unique in that it's the only residential zoning district in Montrose that does not already have a defined maximum density. Instead, a minimum lot size must be included within the zoning ordinance for any annexation or rezone as a condition within that ordinance. In theory, this minimum lot size could be anything, but the intent is to be consistent with what was allowed in the county prior to annexation. In this case, 1 acre was allowed in the county, and the Planning Commission made a recommendation of 1 acre minimum lot sizes as well. This is also consistent with the request made by the applicant, so staff finds that a 1 acre minimum lot size is appropriate here. This is the annexation plat itself. As you can see, this annexation consists of 2 separate properties. However, they do have the same owner. So 100% of the property ownership has requested this annexation. This also shows the contiguity to existing city limits. As mentioned, the state requires at least 1/6 of the property border the city. According to the future land use map within our comprehensive plan, this area is designated as residential mixed density low. This indicates that the area is appropriate primarily for single-family homes, but possibly small amounts of attached residential developments such as duplexes or townhomes. It is worth noting that a small amount of the property is technically shown as employment center, but that's primarily due to the fact that this map doesn't fall neatly along property lines, and the employment center designation is due to the airport next door. This is our growth area map, which represents the most cost-efficient areas for the city to grow, growth area 1 meaning, and this is generally determined by proximity to utilities. And so in summary, the property does meet the eligibility requirements set forth by both the city and the state. An annexation agreement has been signed, and we have submitted an annexation impact report to the county, which is required for any annexation greater than 10 acres. Staff finds that the proposal is consistent with the public health, safety, and welfare and the comprehensive plan. Planning Commission made a unanimous recommendation of approval for the RL zoning district with a minimum lot size of 1 acre, and staff recommends approval of the Blowers addition. That concludes my presentation, but I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Council? If there are, if there are no questions, the first item for consideration with respect to this annexation is the resolution. This is Resolution 2024-07, City Council consideration of this resolution, findings of fact for the Blowers addition annexation. Is there any public comment on this matter? Seeing none, no further comments, Council? I'll entertain a motion for approval.
I'll make a motion to adopt Resolution 2024-07 as presented.
It's been a motion and a second. Please vote. The vote is unanimous, so the resolution is adopted. The second item for consideration on this annexation is Ordinance 2663 on first reading, an ordinance of the City of Montrose, Colorado for the annexation of the Blowers Addition. And in this situation, under our city charter, we must hold, because this is the first reading of an ordinance, we must hold a public hearing. So with that, I will open a public hearing and ask for any public comment. Seeing or hearing none, I'll close the public hearing. Any further comment, council? Then I will entertain a motion.
Move to pass ordinance 2663 on first reading as presented.
I'll second that.
There's been a motion and a second. Please vote. And that ordinance passes unanimously on first reading. Thank you. The next matter for consideration is ordinance 2664 on first reading. And Mr. Reese again, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have nothing further to add.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
I have nothing further to add.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Council, any questions? Is there any public comment? Excuse me, I will have to open a hearing on this because it is the first reading. Any public comment? Hearing none, I'll close the hearing and entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to pass ordinance 2663 on first reading as presented.
64. 60. Is there a second? Okay. Please vote. That passes unanimously. Next item for consideration is item number 12, City Council consideration of ordinance 2661 on second reading, an ordinance of the City of, screen went away. Where is it? My agenda went away. Please bear with me. My agenda went away. Okay. From Chris. Okay. City Council consideration of ordinance 2661 on second reading, an ordinance of the City of Montrose, Colorado, granting and authorizing the conveyance of an interest in city-owned real estate pursuant to 1-9-2 of the official code of the City of Montrose, west-south First Street right-of-way. And for a presentation, I'll turn to City Attorney Chris Dowsey.
Thank you, Mayor Reed. This is the second reading of an ordinance. We have gone over this in the work session on April 1st, as well as the previous council meeting. Nothing has changed since the first reading. This is a vacation of a right-of-way at the intersection of Water Street, I believe it's First and Grand. It is less than a 500 square foot area. There is a building that was built in the city's right-of-way. The earliest known photo is from the 1960s, so this is really just a cleanup. The city does not need this for any utilities or any public access, so city recommends vacating the right-of-way. Thank you. Any questions?
Any questions, council? Is there any public comment? This being the second reading of an ordinance, we're not required to hold a hearing as we are at the time of the first reading, but we always accept public comment if there isn't any, but seeing none, I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance 2661 on second reading as presented.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Please vote. And the vote is unanimous Ordinance 2661 on second reading is adopted. The next item for consideration is City Council, is item number 13, City Council consideration of an agreement with RDMJK Woodgate Investments to facilitate cleanup rights-of-way and easements along the southern side of the proposed roundabout at Woodgate and East Oak Grove Roads. And for presentation, I'll turn to City Engineer Scott Murphy.
Thank you, Mayor. So no changes since work session, and I think, were you there in the audience at that one, Judy Ann, before you were? Okay, so you're mostly up to speed. I'll do a quick overview just for anybody in the public joining for the first time. But when we did the Woodgate realignment, this was right back before COVID, we worked with the landowners at the time to secure the right-of-way for what would become the realignment project. And at the time, we knew a roundabout intersection was going to go in at Woodgate and East Oak Grove, so we took a stab at what we thought the right-of-way would be, knowing it would likely need a cleanup. Bigger picture overall on the project, the Woodgate roundabout project, we have since secured the property on the northern side. The two on the north side have closed. If you've driven by, you'll notice the house, the asbestos abatement is done, and the house will actually be start being relocated here pretty soon. We didn't have to demolish it. It was a good house. So locally, fortunately, we have a local contractor that's able to move those things at their cost. That'll be going on soon. But on the south side, which is what we're looking at here, if you zoom in, or I'll zoom in a little bit, the lines kind of shown here are what we thought the original right-of-way would be. And we almost got it, but we missed by about, let's see, not very much, 500 square feet right on this little corner here, just to make the transition work, so we were a little short. As part of that, there's also portions on the corners that we no longer need. So what we would do, there's two action items here, just one presentation, but we have a memorandum of agreement with the owner that it kind of sets up the framework that if we vacate the obsolete rights of way we don't need, that they would agree to sign this plat and rededicate the right-of-ways that we do need, this little extra sliver. This allows us to do it through a plat action, which is a lot cleaner for the property and future development of that property. It's all in one place, so you don't have to go through 20 places in the title to kind of construct where the boundaries are and what the history was. It's all in one place. So kind of two actions tonight. One's the MOA, which is just the framework that if they do that, we'll do this. There is no compensation taking place either direction on this. We will handle the closing costs, but because it's kind of a wash space-wise or land area-wise, there isn't any compensation proposed. The second action is the first reading of the ordinance, which authorizes the vacation of the two obsolete portions. There are two different exhibits there. And then after that, the next council meeting after this would be the second reading of that, and then approval of this plat. And they happen in that order, so we have to vacate first, and then we can approve the plat, which notes those vacations. We'll write in the reception numbers associated with those vacations. Again, so it's all in one place when it's all said and done. So with that, happy to answer any questions.
No questions? Would anybody like to make public comment? Seeing or hearing none. The first matter that we will consider, as Mr. Murphy said, is the agreement with RDMJK. So I would entertain a motion.
I move to enter into a right-of-way cleanup agreement with RDMJK Woodgate Investments as presented.
I'll second that.
There's been a motion and a second. Please vote. And that vote is unanimous. The next item for consideration, as Mr. Murphy said, is the City Council consideration of Ordinance 2662 on first reading, an ordinance of the City of Montrose, Colorado, granting and authorizing the conveyance of an interest in city-owned real estate pursuant to Section 1-9-2 of the official code of the City of Montrose. Do you have anything to add, Mr. Murphy? Council, any questions? And because it is the first reading of an ordinance, I'll open a hearing and ask for any public comment. Seeing or hearing none, I'll close the hearing and ask for a motion.
I'll make a motion to pass ordinance 2662 on first reading as presented.
There's been a motion and a second. Please vote. And that is a unanimous vote. Thank you, Mr. Murphy. Item number 15, staff reports. No staff reports tonight? Any updates, Scott?
Follow the city's Facebook page. We'll be putting out weekly updates with all the kind of construction, the moving Montrose forward construction that'll be taking place. So I would just ask if people would like information on that, then go to our Moving Montrose Forward webpage and follow the city's Facebook page for routine updates of where they're going next. Definitely a moving target.
And I shared this yesterday at the work session, and I'll share it again, that the City Hall facade work has started in earnest this week. If citizens look at the west side of the building, they will see that the white fluted block is coming down quickly. It's great, thumbs up. And City Hall is still open to the public, to our staff. Our planning and building divisions have moved to the visitor center temporarily. So if people are looking for planning and building, you can email them or stop by the visitor center during open hours. But it might look like we're closed, but we are open.
Thank you. No other staff comments? What about youth city council comments? Do you guys have anything?
Yep, so recently we just had a few of our members go on the legislative trip to Denver with Montrose U. I wasn't able to attend that because of swim team. And then also recently we just had our street cleanup. The U City Council has a street that they sponsor for like Adopt a Street. And I also wasn't able to attend that because of swim team, but I heard that it went really well. And then right now we're just kind of transitioning, trying to find a way to plan our end of the year retreat. Just have one last get together before our term ends. Anything you guys want to add? Yeah. Any questions?
Questions, council? Thank you. You ladies want to offer anything else? Okay. Well, we thank you for coming as always. We appreciate it. Council comments.
I'm just going to say, with the Mental Health Month just getting started, I noticed right after that subject came up, they started fencing in City Hall, so I was a little concerned at first.
Thank you, Councilman.
I'd just like to reiterate my earlier comments about perhaps trying to put in an extra handicap spot right on Cascade so that our handicap residents have two parking spaces on one side, since the one on Main Street is covered up.
I'm happy to report that there will be 2 accessible parking spaces on Cascade.
Thank you.
Yes, and I think the striping is happening tomorrow morning to extend the parking spaces a little bit further into Cascade. And the parking stops will be there as well. Right now, the fence is just there, but the parking stops will be relocated too.
Thank you.
I believe when I came in the door downstairs, there's a sign about something being closed tomorrow.
Yes, actually, we, a few years back, found an old ordinance in the vault at City Hall talking about Montrose Day. They used to, back in the day, set a day each year that the community and the city was encouraged to kind of spruce up their surroundings and make Montrose a better place. So mostly annually, we set a day in the spring as Montrose Day and ask city staff to make their work area a little bit better. So tomorrow from noon until 6, City Hall and Municipal Court, there's a few facilities that will be closed, a few departments. Many will remain open, but a few will be closed for Montrose Day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we can't wait to see what items staff find during Montrose Day as we're cleaning out our offices, getting organized electronically, making sure that we're really efficient in our office space to serve the public. And thank you to our clerk's office for organizing this. We appreciate
Sounds
it.
like a contest for who can find the weirdest thing. We always do that when we do street cleanups. Who can find the weirdest thing?
I'd like to thank the staff and the city for their participation in the Cinco de Mayo Festival over there at the Colorado Outdoors. It was...
And the one downtown.
Pardon?
And the one downtown.
Oh, and for their participation, and again, it turned out quite nice, even though the wind that came up and kind of scared a few people, but it turned out nice. Thank you.
And yesterday at our work session, Mr. Murphy, our engineer, presented a water runoff forecast and kind of a little bit of update on what's going on with our water. And I just wanted to thank and commend Mr. Murphy, because that is a lot of work compiling all of that data. And just want to publicly acknowledge that we have one of the best city engineers out there, unless you're trying to poach him, in which case we're going to have a different conversation. But thank you, that's a lot of work and we really appreciate it.
Very much so. Any other council comments?
I understand that next week is National Police Appreciation Week, with next Wednesday, May the 15th, being the main day for that. And again, one more time, I'd like to tell our police department how much we appreciate them, as well as all the other law enforcement officers around. I can remember all the ceremonies that we used to have in Centennial Plaza with the riderless horse and the bagpipes and all of that. And it was so sincere and well-attended by law enforcement agencies from BLM, Forest Service, Sheriff's Department, Colorado State Patrol. It was just amazing. So I will be thinking about you all next week. Thank you.
With that, I've got one more comment.
Sure.
I want to ask a question. Is there some place on the city internet site that actually talks about roundabout courtesy or responsibilities? I happen to drive on several of these roundabouts these last 4 or 5 days, and I've been almost hit 3 times and broadside, and I've had 2 encounters where I almost hit them broadside, and not to mention that for the last 2 days I've been catching a bunch of flack from a bunch of city residents about etiquette for using, and the rules for using the roundabout. So, thank you.
I can speak to that a little bit. So I don't think there's anything on any of the web pages. We do try and do social media blasts from time to time. You can imagine it's a hard thing to get at people if they're don't care about how they drive. They're not going up a website, or not going to the website to learn how to drive. But something we kind of try and get out to get the message out and make people aware online. A lot of times I see even from citizens. A lot of postings. I think our youth council made a video a couple of years ago even, and it's something we kind of continually try and plant the seeds wherever possible. But rules of the road, driver's license, those kind of things. Try and always. Oh yeah.
All I know is it's been some of the worst drivers I've seen in years. So I'm sorry.
To wrap up the council comments, I guess I have one comment, one announcement. This next year, your city council is going to continue to work on the things that we've been working very hard on this past year, the revision of our land use code, thanks to Jason and his department, street maintenance and improvement, childcare, you name it, housing. But I also want to turn our focus this year. We want to keep addressing those issues full speed ahead. We have to. But I think it's important that we recognize our citizens, the citizens who really make this community tick. And so I, as the mayor, am going to declare this next year as the year of our citizens. And in recognition of that, we're going to establish a new award that we are calling the You Make a Difference Award. And we will, from time to time, no set schedule, but from time to time, we will recognize one or more of our citizens at a city council meeting and present them with a certificate of telling them how much we appreciate them for making a difference in our community. We have so many people that you don't see, you don't hear about, but are the very fabric of this community and contribute to its betterment on a day-to-day basis. I think it's important that we recognize all of them, and that's what this program and certificate is going to be designed to do. So look for that coming up in the future. Thank you. Any other comments? If none, if there are no other comments, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll
I make a motion to adjourn.
We are adjourned.
Judy Ann gets one.